Today we're sky surfing, almost like a low-tech hoverboard. Interested to find out how it's done? Here we go. For this build, you're going to need some braided utility rope. This is good to 290 pounds. A 10-foot, 1/2 inch outer diameter, 3/8 inch inner diameter clear vinyl pipe. And then two 10-inch lengths of 3/4 inch PVC pipe. These will be the handles, these are the friction guards, and then the rope. And of course, a skateboard. But I like this that has the space between the board and the wheels. The decision on the handles is trying to make it so that it clears this area. For me, that's about 5 inches. I give it 6 just to give it a little extra room. So 6 inches on center will be the holes, and then you'll have another 8 inches. If your skateboard was wider, say 8 inches, then you would maybe go with a 12-inch pipe. This is going to work perfectly for this configuration. How I came up with the 11 inches is I wanted something that would fit over the wheels and provide me protection here from the rope rubbing either against the non-skid on the side here or on the wood. For the tree, I'm going to use hammock straps. And this one was a lightning deal on Amazon, and it came with 2 locking carabiners and 2 really long straps. Max weight 700 pounds, so that should be perfect. There are 2 major things that are working in this build: gravity and speed. Both are very dangerous, so you do this at your own risk, because there's no way I can tell how you're going to take my design and incorporate it into your design. This is a build demonstration. It is not necessarily intended for anyone to go out and do it on their own. Totally your responsibility if you take on this build and do it yourself. Check the rope thoroughly before you cut it, before you use it. If you use a rope outside, the weather conditions, moisture, any of that stuff is going to impact the quality and the strength of the rope. Do not risk your life on a cheap rope. It's just not worth it. But you can see here is a void that I cut out and didn't use because I just didn't feel good about it. This rope came with all sorts of cautions. If I use it 4 separate ropes, you can multiply that times 4, and that'll be 11,060 pounds worth of working limit. Most anybody's going to weigh is me at 170 pounds. So that's my design criteria. But you can see all those warnings. That's 290 pounds. If you have 2 loops that are separate and you put them together like my design calls on the top and the bottom, now that's 290 pounds times 2. And then if you do it on both sides and both ends, then that's 290 pounds times 4. And then you got 1,160 pounds. I have my 4 11-inch long pieces of pipe and my 4 6-inch long pieces of pipe, top, bottom. Don't cut the 6-inch pieces just yet. Later in the video, I'll show you why. Now I'm going to do the 2 handrails. They're 3/4 inch pipe. You probably could use 1-inch pipe, but I wanted something that kind of was good enough to grip for smaller hands as well as big hands. I found the center of the 10-inch pipe. I marked 3 inches out for a total of 6 inches, and then another inch out on either side. That's 8 inches. So you'll have the rope go through here and here. How I did that is you can see that there's a faint line right here on this T on either side. That's going to allow me to drill a straight hole with a hand drill. Then I've used this punch here, and I just marked it there to start it out. So draw a line, line it up, makes it really flat, and then I made sure that it was 180 degrees out on the other side, and I did the same thing here for both pipes. And then I'll drill on both sides separately. You could drill down straight through and you might get a little bit of an angle. I don't want that. I want to try to do it as straight as possible, so that's why I'm going to drill separately on both sides. Since the rope is 5/16, I'm going to use a 3/8 inch drill bit to make the hole. That gives it a little bit of play and it's not going to bind it. I'm using this drill with the little edge on it to go with the center punch hole so that it doesn't slide off. Now I'll drill a bunch of holes and then I'll finish those off. Now that all the holes have been drilled on both pipes, I'm going to hit them up with a countersink. Another tool I find really helpful is this deburring tool. And it comes with extra blade. You can do steel, copper, and you come in here and that just does real quick work of getting that stuff out of the hole. You can usually find this on Amazon for under $10. Go to any major hardware store and I'm sure they have some. I've been giving the design a little bit more thought. You got 6 inches here and then you got 8 inches here. I have 11-inch pipe to protect against the wheels and then 6-inch originally was on the top. Sometimes you'll want the 6 inches because you'll have a narrower skateboard, and other times you'll want the 8 inches for a wider skateboard because you want to try to avoid hitting the sides of the skateboard with the rope. That's the whole idea of using these. So I'm going to make it more universal and make 8 of these 11-inch long pieces for the top and bottom. So all you'd have to do is switch the top and the bottom depending on what kind of skateboard you have. Makes it a lot more universal. You'll be able to use the whole 10-foot clear vinyl and still have some left over, but it gives the design twice the amount of flexibility. Now it's time to assemble a side. Take 4 11-inch pieces of the clear pipe, 2 of the 10-foot sections, and 1 of the handles. It's important that the length on all 4 of the ropes is the same. That way your skateboard's not going to wobble, only if you want it to. First thing you're going to do is take 2 of the ropes, run them through the 8-inch hole, the one on the outside, and then through here to make the handle. You don't want to tighten down just yet. So everything you do, you want to be symmetrical. If your rope is being particularly stubborn, what you could do is just take a piece of flexible wire, take a piece of tape, and you can use that to pull it through. You don't need a really thick wire like this. You could use a very thin wire, and then just run the wire through the plastic and pull it right through like that. You're going to do a bowling knot on all 8 ends. If you don't know what a bowling knot is, you just take the length of the cord and you make what would call a tree in a hole. You put the tree in the back of the hole, then the rabbit comes out of the hole, goes around the tree, and then back into the hole. Now you want to keep a sense of how you tied this bowling knot because you're going to do it 8 times and you want it to all be the same. If you need to adjust it, it just breaks down real easy. You loosen it up and you can start over. You can pull the tail out, make adjustments, what have you. Since I know all of my knots are this way, I'm going to try to measure this. Roughly 2 inches on either side, and then the tail is about 1 inch. And now I have 2 sets that have the entire system. The one thing to keep straight is where these handles are, so that I have the 6 inches on one side and then the 8 inches on the other side. I did check both sets and they are really close to being the same length, which is important. Just taking a red magic marker and marked the tails on the 8-inch side so they can keep it straight. Now it's ready for testing. Here's the setup outside. We have 2 hammock straps on a branch that's at 11 feet. It is also 7 feet from here to here, and then another 36 inches to there. And that's how we're going to set up our skateboard. We have 2 locking climbing carabiners. So I've installed the 2 lines that are going to tie in the skateboard, and they are 22 inches above the ground. Now we install the skateboard. In the grooves. The handles are easy to adjust. You just push up on one side. Trick is that you get one side done first, and then it's easy to figure out what the height on the other side. All right, hop on and show us how it's done. Okay, now that the lighter weights have tested it, it's my turn. I weigh 170 pounds. Time to play. Really putting it through the paces now. It's really doing good. You could probably use almost any kind of skateboard on it. As with any install, you'd want to check it out every time you try and use it. Woohoo! Thumbs up and comments always appreciated. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for future builds involving skateboards and other things coming soon.